All right. Grace, mercy, and peace from him who is and was and is to come very soon, I'm certain. This is Rogue Diabetic, and welcome to the digital wilderness. All right. So I haven't done one of these for a long time, and hopefully maybe I can get some people on because, I guess so they're electing a new Speaker of the House. The Republicans are going to be in the majority. They first have to elect a Speaker. And then after that, I guess they swear in the new members. And at that point, the Republican Party becomes the new majority party in the House of Representatives. So, but they're not able to, they just finished their fourth ballot and they still failed to elect a speaker. The Democrats are voting for Hakeem Jeffries, who is a Democrat from New York. He's an African-American. Then you've got Kevin McCarthy, who is the favorite guy that most of the Republicans have been voting for in these first four ballots. I think he's gotten, I haven't seen the totals on this fourth round. The first two ballots, I want to say that he lost 19 Republican votes. And apparently in this most recent, or in the third round, it was up to 20. So so they started off with their magic number 19 for one thing. That's always they've got to have their magic numbers. And so now I'm sure the numerology will come up again over and over. 20 doesn't have anything real specifically significant to it as far as the numerology goes that I know of. But I know 19 is obviously COVID-19. And it's just if you watch the news and whenever the cabal is up to their tricks, they're using these code numbers. And 19 is one of their big numbers. 19 dead students at Uvalde, COVID-19, et cetera. So anyway, it went from 19 to 20. And in the third ballot of the last one, this Donalds guy picked up a vote from somebody that was from somebody that had voted for McCarthy. This is Byron Donalds from Florida. So Congressman Donalds is a African American. This would be his second term. The Wall Street Journal finally got a headline. See, I didn't even know who this guy was. But yesterday, somebody voted for him. I can't remember who it was. Chip Roy. No. Okay, so now we've got we're starting to see this guy stuff that isn't from months ago or weeks or anything, because nobody never heard of this guy. I hadn't heard of this guy. Now, a friend of mine who watches a lot of Fox News, she's a Republican. She keeps up with this closer than I do. Apparently, they've been pushing this guy a little bit in the past, I don't know, weeks or months. Wasn't anything like Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, all of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard was on Fox News every night. But this is one of these characters that they have been had waiting in the wings for a long time to looks like he's married to a white woman. That's a nice touch. Okay, so that plays into this this racial, because that's what Republicans have been doing for years. I mean, the Democrats accuse Republicans of being racist, so they come up with these candidates that are, black and whatever, black and women, thinking that that's going to somehow placate the press or whoever. And it's always a nice touch when you can throw in a white woman. Oh, we're not jealous of the black people, these black men with their large appendages stealing our white woman. No, we like it. But anyway, no. But I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just trying to point out how they're it's just more of this pushing of this racial division going on with this whole thing with this Byron Donalds guy. And literally up until yesterday, nobody had ever heard of him. He got one vote, and it was from a McCarthy flip. Okay. And before that, the 19 people that had voted for Donalds, or the 19 people that had voted, 19 Republicans that had voted against McCarthy, had split their votes, against several different, with several different people like Matt Gaetz, and I think he got a few, and Biggs from Arizona, et cetera, et cetera. But now they're obviously pushing this Donalds guy. And so what's going to be interesting to see whether this guy continues to pick up traction. Because he went from, in the span of just, a couple hours, to, who is this guy, to all of a sudden this guy switches his vote from McCarthy to Jordan. And that's another one that picked up a few votes. And now all of a sudden there's and I hadn't heard of this guy until I was listening to the very beginning of the roll call vote. Just out of curiosity, I wasn't paying too close of attention, but I happened to catch Lauren Boebert's vote, and it was for Donalds, and I was like, "Uh-oh, who's this Donalds guy?" Sure enough, it's this Byron Donalds. He set floor buzz by switching vote from McCarthy to Jordan. So he had originally voted for McCarthy, and now they're setting. Now apparently all these GOP holdouts that aren't wanting to vote for McCarthy are going to start voting for Jordan. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of shenanigans they pull with this. If this is just going to be pure distraction, which it very well could be. I mean, it doesn't really matter who's the Speaker of the House. It doesn't really matter what party controls Congress. It's all the same party. It's all the same thing. They're going to do whatever it is that they're going to do. And if they can keep us distracted over the next few days, well then, with this drama, first time since 1923 that the Speaker of the House hasn't gotten elected on the first ballot. It's so whether they're going to keep us distracted with all this drama, or it's absolutely what exactly they're up to, or if they're up to something bigger this time, where they actually are going to pull some sort of, some sort of total meltdown, false flag of some sort, because this would be a fairly innocuous way of this would be a way to I don't see how the Democrats could go into full meltdown mode if they get this Byron Donalds elected Speaker of the House. They'll wail and moan and whatever, of course, like they always do. They'll call him a racist. They'll say this brother is a racist against black people because he's a Republican, and that he hates white women even though he has a white wife, because that's what they do. Okay, they get these black Republicans with their white wives, and they get Republicans to think that, oh, if we elect a brother with a white wife, then the Democrats will stop accusing us of racism. But then that'll be according to the Democrats, that'll just mean that's evidence that they all Republicans are racist because they elected a black guy. That isn't exculpatory to them. That's the opposite of exculpatory, whatever that is. That's it's not mitigating, it's aggravating. You know what I'm saying? So, but it would be like I say, it would be fairly innocuous. It wouldn't, it would be a way to keep everything. It would be a way to continue the distraction in a way that doesn't really upset the apple cart. So, and I mean, it's like as far as 2023, what are these guys going to pull? I mean, sooner or later, something's got to give. And you know, whether it's going to be anything, what's going to be the next dramatic thing, I really don't know. I've really gotten like to the point where it's gotten hard. It's gotten hard to predict it. They've done like, I mean, there's certainly been significant developments over 2022 and 2021, you know, but there hasn't been anything like George Floyd or COVID-19 or another shutdown or anything along those lines. There hasn't been something super like definitive yet. There's been a lot of these, like the Ukraine war, the pull out of Afghanistan. I mean, there's been some things like that bomb that went off in Beirut, or you know, that have been significant but haven't been, you know, really like earth shattering or earth shaking. There's just been a lot of these, you know, birth pains, these distressing things, and this is another one of them. It's probably end up going to be, I don't know. It's really like this narrative that this Donalds guy is, you know, we'll see it. It's going to be interesting to see it to take shape. I mean, like, so yesterday I never heard of this guy, and then all of a sudden, and I'm pretty tuned out compared to where I was 2, 4, 8 years ago, to, you know, the political scene, but you know, I still keep my eye on it. You know, it's an old habit. And whenever you start to see these people that you've never heard of before, all of a sudden, just like they go from nobody's ever heard of them until like now this guy just got, you know, I don't know, maybe up to 20 votes for Speaker of the House, and he's a second-term congressman. Okay. Then I don't know what to say. Then it's something that's worth like watching to see what kind of nonsense they're up to with this guy. So anyway, that's all for right now. We'll keep our eyes on this. Like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell. Other than that, I'm out.